Hydrogen, the simplest element of all, holding one electron, proton, and neutron. It's everywhere, literally. It makes up 75% of the universe. It's present in nearly all the molecules in living things. It's essential for geological processes such as carbon-nitrogen cycle, and it makes up water, the most important compound on Earth for all organic and living things. But there is also another way for hydrogen to be used. Hydrogen could be used as fuels to power automobiles and vehicles. If used properly, this technology could render the oil industry that society relies so heavily on for electricity obsolete. That's how much potential hydrogen as fuel holds. But first, how do you even convert hydrogen to, well, energy? The basic overview is that hydrogen gas will react with oxygen gas to produce energy as well as water as byproducts. Fuel cells, such as proton exchange membrane fuel cells, will be used to power such reactions. PEM fuel cell is composed of 6 individual parts: a hydrogen storage tank, an anode, the PEM membrane, a cathode, an air intake system, as well as an external metal lead. The system works like this. Hydrogen is released into the anode chamber where it reacts with the PEM membrane. This converts the H2 molecule into the 2 H plus ions and releases 2 electrons into the anode chamber. The H plus ions pass through the PEM membrane into the cathode chamber where air is drawn in from the atmosphere. The H plus ions combine with O2 molecules from the air to produce heat and H2O molecules. The heat and water are vented out of the system through the exhaust lines. The electrons in the anode chamber are unable to travel through the PEM membrane and are instead routed through the metal lead around the outside of the fuel cell into the cathode chamber. This constant flow of electron is the electric charge that then runs the car. The power generated by one fuel cell isn't enough to handle the needs of a motor vehicle, so they are stacked in succession. The size of the hydrogen fuel cell stack is determined by the space allocated to it and the desired electrical output of the system. So if you want to power a car, you need a lot of fuel cells. There are many benefits in using hydrogen fuel cells. Firstly, hydrogen fuel cells are capable of approximately 2.7 times the energy production as an equal amount of liquid gasoline used in conventional gas engine, because fuel cells convert the chemical energy contained in a fuel into electrical energy in a single step, extracting more useful energy from the same amount of fuel in an internal combustion engine, for example, which requires several steps, converting chemical energy contained in gasoline to thermal energy via combustion, thus creating more unusable form of energy such as heat. Secondly, hydrogen fuel cells releases water as waste. This contributes to less greenhouse gas emissions and less pollution in the environment. Thirdly, it is easy to maintain as the maintenance of fuel cell is simple since there are few moving parts in the system. However, despite its high efficiency and benefits, there are so many problems involved in hydrogen fuel cells that overshadows its benefits as of now. Firstly, it's the cost of using hydrogen fuel cells that are simply too expensive. Many of the component pieces of a fuel cell are costly. Proton exchange membranes, precious metal catalysts, which are usually platinum, gas diffusion layers, and bipolar plates make up 70% of the system's cost. The second reason is because of the overall efficiency from a thermodynamic perspective. Since natural hydrogen gas is not abundant on Earth, electrolysis process is required so that electric current will split water into hydrogen and oxygen. And to do that, oil needs to be burned as fuel to power the process. But by that point, it would have been so much energy efficient to use oil as the main source of fuel. The third reason is that H2 is highly reactive and volatile and could create huge explosions and accidents should a malfunction happen inside the fuel cells. Because of these reasons, there are currently no effective method of using hydrogen effectively, cost efficiently, and safely. However, scientists are currently trying to solve the problem, such as using renewable solar energy to power the process of electrolysis instead. To conclude, in order for society to start replacing oil as a main form of energy and start using renewable sources of energies instead, it is crucial first to find a solution to all the hydrogen fuel cell problems.